y'all do have me today. Um, I know Sntax usually starts with what we have shipped lately. Um, oh my gosh, what have we shipped since last time? We did meet in January, right? So last week we shipped three kind of exciting things. Now I've just got to remember what we shipped since last WUG. Headsets are the darndest things. The three exciting things from last week, while I'm double checking what else was going on, were the mobile version of Maps, the um, the the viewer splash page. So the blog feeds aren't broken on the viewer splash page anymore. And right, the secret thing. So we shipped a secret thing last week. You made a feedback for which thing? Which is still broken, by the way, the maps. Uh, Not a fan of the purple on community. In web maps, maps.secondlife.com. Yep, that one. So we heard that uh, there were some links that were broken on web maps, but we think we've already shipped a fix to that. What else is not working for maps? Oh, actually useful information about the place. All right, thank you. Yes. All right, what's Sassy's URL say? Oh, having like that server user group is happening there could be pretty nice. Oh, the purple teleport button. So, anybody here using the Second Life viewer versus Firestorm? That's interesting to see what y'all are all using. I appreciate that. Juniper, we were doing some feedback about maps, and I mentioned that we'd updated the viewer splash page, but I don't think anybody here has seen it because they don't use our viewer. Um, and I mentioned that we had another secret exciting thing shipped that we can't talk about. No, you don't
Soon.
have to. Yeah, we'll be able to talk soon about the other secret thing. But um, do you remember any exciting things that we've shipped since January other than the 3 last week?
No. We've got some things coming out. But I don't know if I'm allowed to share them. We've got some things coming down the pipeline. And we had some kind of over the break, I don't know, caller, if you mentioned this, but we were doing some giving some love to some of our scheduled jobs in Marketplace that save variant views and all that stuff because it's an old system that needed some fiddling and hasn't happened in a while. So a lot of not visible work, if that makes sense, but still necessary.
Oh, along those lines, part of why we did some of that work is because we noticed that, and y'all pointed out that marketplace deliveries were slow. So how have marketplace deliveries felt in the last month or so? Yes, that Sassy is the new thing, that events is bigger and the blog feed's not broken.
Well, no news is good news on deliveries being not slower. So yeah, we're working on it. So if you do notice anything, please let us know. But yeah, we're trying to kind of revamp these systems while we can.
And yeah, the Linden sense bug was fixed. We've been doing a lot of formatting, dusting everything off around the uh, TBS work that I believe there's a blog for. Um, and it was just a development artifact that hopefully we fixed pretty quickly. It wasn't, nobody thinks that Linden dollars need cents. It was just putting a formatter in the wrong place. Y'all have any suggestions for funny visual bugs we should put in for April Fools?
Everybody's pictures into Rick Astley.
All right, I'll make a note. I think somebody showed me that. It's that it like makes them even more real life looking, right? Oh, into Rick Astley, not Rick Astley. Yes, Rickroll all of the pictures. That is not a terrible idea, Sassy.
It would be so. My dream for April Fools is to actually have a shoemaker give out a free pair of shoes and them to be inserted from that bug from 2007, where everything used to attach to the lower than mid section when you teleported, but actually do it there. Old bees will laugh and new people will not understand, and it will just be funny.
Underpants shoes. That sounds amusing.
You were not here then?
I was not here then.
Everything used to attach to your butt. Everything. On foot. So you could teleport, you'd only have your system clothing on, your shoes, your jewellery, your hair, everything would be in your butt. So you'd land at some event, like an actual event, like a dance or something, you'd have to run to a tree, fish everything out of your bottom, put it all back on, and then walk in all very classy like. It was fun
Gives
times.
new meaning to anal retentive, doesn't it?
It really does. You're going to pay first, Sarah. You're the only one here wearing flexi hair, I think, or hair with flex in it.
We could call it a second oasis, I guess, Sarah.
Actually, can I ask you something about Marketplace? Actually, it's something that evolved from something that was released yesterday by another resident. It was a marketing strategy for designers, etc. My friend Gogo and I were discussing it and worked out that a really interesting user case would be if Marketplace actually had a recently uploaded by stores you follow page. Like, you know how we have favorite stores that we can add to our thing and things like that. If you actually say subscribed to a store, you could go to a page on Marketplace and it would show you all the recent things that those designers had actually uploaded to Marketplace, so you wouldn't miss new releases by them or them updating their Marketplace, things like that.
Would that be like...
I'm pretty sure we've gotten this feature request and we have it in our backlog. You know, who knows when we'll get to it, but we've definitely discussed this idea before.
Hi, Spidey, and that's awesome. Yeah, because hive mind, I just think that something like that would be really, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yay.
So in this stores I subscribe to view, would it be like a page where it looks kind of like a normal marketplace page with just a bunch of product listings and they're all mixed around from different providers that you subscribe to? Or would it be like, this is the blueberry section, this is the somebody else
It
section?
it would be mixed. So because you would, I mean, you could probably have a drop down that would say newest first, or it could say alphabetical order, something like that. So then your blueberry would be before your reborn. It would be before your, Cube Republic plants, etc., like that. Or it could even have the same sort of filters like home and garden, clothing, fashion, whatever. However you want to do it, but it could be like how the most popular items page is. It would just be like looking at that, but it would be just people that you actually want to follow. So you could start your this day looking at that. It'd probably generate a lot more money, to be fair. Why? Why does it normalize brands over smaller brands? They're ones that you've favorited yourself personally, Sarah. It's just your own curated page. So yours would be boats and beautiful clothing and intricate stuff like that, and mine might just be hair and shoes, and Luke's would be glasses. Sorry, Luke was the first thing I thought. Exactly. But that sort of thing, because we already have the favorites following, but realistically you've got to sort of remember to look at them and stuff like that. And sometimes stores don't update their marketplace for years, and then suddenly they do. It would be just nice to know that they've thrown something on there you might have missed a notice, and people could leave some groups that they're stuck in if it was already going to come through that way as well.
That's interesting. Would you want it to have an RSS feed? Would you want to be able to have it push notifications out to you somewhere else? Like just the Christmas wish list of this whole thing. Or just have the page would be good enough?
Just having the page is a great start, but I don't see why an RSS couldn't be added, or things like that couldn't be implemented along the way. But just having the page, I mean, some people would go hardcore and subscribe to like 300 stores, and some people would just have interest in 2 or 3 things like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just a really cool way of knowing. It could even be opt-in for the designer if they wanted to appear in that page, sort of thing. Because they might want to just have their demo appear, so that if they're listing 48 colors, single things, that 48 squares that appear on the screen. Like they could nominate maybe the fat pack and the demo to appear in the single colors. People would might be an idea. I just mean, like you could choose which item you want to appear in the recent thing. Just going a bit further in my brain, if that's possible.
Well, I'll put it down. I'm just taking notes about like the Christmas wish list right now. I don't know what's going to be when we could pick this up, or what would be possible. Yeah, we don't do groups, but I guess you could ask us about them. This is web user group, so web team doesn't generally have a lot to do with groups, but along the lines of ways to see what you want to see in Marketplace, we've got a lot of people who've requested to be able to like have a stores I hate list. I'm being a little bit flip with the naming of it, but like things I don't want to see again.
Yeah, that's I've seen that asked for, like a block list.
I hear you, Quinn. We would like to get back to variants. We've got some code for it. but we have not gotten it prioritized for the finish line yet.
I just had a question too. Does Marketplace sorry, this sounds really dumb. Do you guys know that ad blocker blocks some of your ads?
I don't think it's the thing that we had really thought about.
Yeah, actually, this is a known issue for a long time because ad blocker partly works on keywords, and so certain keywords in Marketplace get flagged by ad blocker. There's not really much we can do about it, unfortunately. The only recommendation I have is, like turn it off on Marketplace or something.
I'd never actually thought of it as being a thing because I've never had a problem with Marketplace, but when you had a thing going on, I think it was Lazy Sunday or something like that, that you had advertised as a square at sort of the bottom right of the page, which was essentially an ad you were placing on the screen. It wasn't somebody's product. I wasn't seeing it, and somebody was like blah 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 blah, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then realized ad blocker was working, and I'd never thought of it in 19 years that ad blocker had an effect on Marketplace. So yeah, it's kind of...
Yep, I've seen bug reports about it many times over the years, and if there's a specific ad that is blocked and you don't think it should be, like, I totally encourage you to file a feedback and we can take a look at it, and maybe we set up something incorrectly, but most of the time it's just the way it works.
Yeah, it was just interesting because, like, I never knew that I was missing things. Maybe obviously nothing so important, but yeah, it was just an interesting sort of ad blocker, Second Life. Didn't think of those two things together.
Luke, we've got the product listing enhancement sort of ad things, which I think everybody kind of knows about. And then we've got the Second Life ad network, which we were at one point experimenting with selling time in to residents. But I'm not sure where that is right this moment. Spidey, have you heard from Darcy or anybody about that recently?
I was just about to look it up.
Okay. Sassy, I don't have the news that you quite want to hear, but I know that you were asking about us updating the what's next pages to not be woefully out of date, and by the time we talk next month, that will be fixed.
That's good news. Why were you worried?
Because you wanted it to already be fixed, so.
I did want it to already be fixed, but I didn't want it to already be fixed if it couldn't be fixed immediately. What I did really want is you guys to put a splash page up there instead of still sending people down a bad rabbit hole. Yep. But that seems to not be a thing that my dreams can come true from. But I'm just excited it's being worked on because it's just really unfortunate for people that go there for help and they're getting the wrong help.
Soon. I don't even think it's going to be like get in under the wire right before next web user group, but I don't know an exact date, so.
That's okay. I knew it was coming. Brett told me, so it's all good. I'm happy.
Cool. Well, the affiliate program is paused. Where did the ad play, Sarah?
Why does everybody think it's awful? Yeah, but okay, it's dramatic, and I know people are saying, oh my god, I feel like I'm being attacked and da 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 da, but it's dramatic. It's like cinematic, I guess, is a better word. It's an ad for people that aren't already here, not for people that are already residents. Right, and it is only the first one. They have a whole slew, but some people have done remixes of it, which are kind of fun. It's probably because the guy majored in Shakespeare and is very disappointed in the trajectory of his life.
He shouldn't be disappointed if he gets to talk about how cool Second Life is.
Right?
I've told the marketing team that I'm happy to do voiceovers for them. I think they forgot though.
I think everybody should. I think all Linden should have a crack at being one of the videos. That would kind of be adorable, you know.
I don't think all of us are suited to that.
Yeah, I don't think I could take that kind of feedback if someone was like, I hate it. I can take a lot of negative feedback, but I think that's the line for me.
All right, well, if y'all had a really big magic wand that you could point at Second Life Web, what would you have us pop out with this magic wand? What would be y'all's top votes?
Making the Second Life website more dynamic and something that we go to every day because we're actually curious about what's happening without it all being hidden under the menus.
I like that. I want that magic wand.
That every one of us should start our day looking at secondlife.com. I've talked to residents that are 12 years old and they haven't known about where to go for transaction history. Talked to people that are 15 years old, didn't know we had forums. Mind you, sometimes that's best. For them, I mean, not because they'd be bad on the forums, but because, you know, sorry.
That's kind of how I've described what I think Second Life Web should be, that Second Life is a second life, and the web is an extension of your Second Life with your, Second Life banking and your Second Life shopping and your Second Life figuring out what to do where. I don't know. Magazine. I don't know when we'll. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say it should be like a magazine. You sit down and you see that this is going on in the fashion arena, this is going on in the tech arena, this is like, or a newspaper. You know, it should be something that you want to start your day with, sipping your coffee before you hit the login button, and go about your day. It could have, you know, things that these big announcements, like you have, I think, a Flickr group. Sorry, Luke. You have a Flickr group that's for Second Life Official, and you used to use that picture, like to make a picture of the day. Well, instead of doing one video that sits there for 6 months, why not every day put that picture of the day up there on the big screen, so to speak? You know, bring that attention. I was lucky enough with my partner to be the splash screen years ago. I think it was 2012 or something. Even earlier, I think, and it was so, like, it was such a proud moment. I think that if people got that every day, it would be so exciting. Just, I don't know, it needs to just be better, and everything's nestled so hard to navigate that website.
Quinn, the less dead space, like the big gutters that you have on the sides, right? I don't know that I'm going to be able to get to it but one of the things I've talked about for Second Life web properties, I would love to have a web-based inventory management, but I might be a crazy person. It would be like you could sort all of your inventory stuff in a web browser, like a web app, instead of having to open the viewer whenever you need to sort your inventory. Why is it a bad idea, Sarah? We're going to have MFA for web pretty soon, finally.
It could also just be sorting and not maybe delete or add if security is such a concern from the web side.
Imagine being able to sort on a tablet while you're watching Netflix.
God. Set a timer the other day for an hour and went, okay, 1 hour inventory, and 3 hours later I was still just moving things around. So it didn't res a thing, just moving things into the folders that they should actually have been in 5 years ago. And so, oh my God. If I could sit on the sofa watching any streaming service and be doing that, my inventory would be sorted in days, not years.
So web-based chat kind of a situation, right, Luke? That's what you're saying?
I've wanted an inbox on the Second Life website as well for years. I've always believed that every Second Life resident should have an email. Like Luke Rowley would be Luke Rowley at Second Life. Quinn Ilara would be Quinn Ilara at secondlife.com. And then being logged in wouldn't need to be, and we wouldn't need to fill up Gmail and Yahoo and all of that with all the Second Life residents. We could just have our own email, and it could be accessed through the dashboard. It would be awesome.
Sarah, you mentioned earlier you had a question about groups. That's one of the other ones. I was wondering if being able to do group management and maintenance from a web-based thing would be cool. So, do y'all use any Second Life web enhancers that I should know about? Since, I stay with my head buried on this side of it, I don't know all the things that y'all use to make it better already. You use something called special maps? Oh, okay.
Wow, item listing dates. That's awesome.
I think that one came up for me recently, which is part of why I asked the question, Quinn. So in the past, we've talked about having like shopping event pages on Marketplace, and I'm curious if that's still a kind of thing that people would be interested in if it were possible. It would be like, Inara's Halloween extravaganza, and you could sign up to have items from your store listed on the Halloween extravaganza marketplace page. Okay. That's good to know. I've definitely seen it popping up on my feeds uh, outside of work for other countries, but maybe just because the algorithm knows that I love Halloween.
I think it's starting to gain traction in some other countries, but I think that is tied into wanting to be silly, wanting to have fun. I mean, people that make beautiful costumes and things like that in Second Life really benefited from those themed celebrations, and that seems to have died off. And Halloween's kind of the only one that gives them the chance to do that anymore, and Christmas, of course.
I think we've gotten similar feedback, Sarah, like that about our last names, that there's been suggestions that we look outside of the US for next time we offer new last names. You want Scrooge as the last name? I could pass it along to the name committee.
Yeah, I think during the themed ones they should maybe come up with an additional regular kind of names.
Uh, okay. I'll pass that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking about define regular because
Johnson, Smith, Brown, Jones. No, I just mean like a name that somebody could feel that was a last name, not a theme. All of us, I think, are all, yeah, you know, like we had real sort of official sounding last names when I joined. Mind you, there was Tim Tam and Dingo before me, but that was because there was an Australian Linden.
Sarah, I'm kind of surprised we don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo because St. Patrick's Day is celebrated so much in the US because it's an excuse to drink. So,
Celebrate it big in the Ireland.
I don't know anything about St. George's Day. Do we get to do something with dragons?
The Dutch do a lot of stuff around their celebrations. I've always loved that about SL2. The Dutch really go to town when they're all wearing orange and there's some big, I don't know when in the year it is, but they always celebrate some really big moments.
Oh, Welsh is the dragons. I mean, residents could celebrate all of these holidays and probably do. Is there a way that we could promote resident created holidays? I mean, created holiday events?
It sounds like a full-time job. Destination guide, I mean, if people list their events in the destination events pages, they could be picked up by Destination Guide, I guess, if it was a big deal, something that was actually happening for a period of time. Have the Lindens ever considered, you know how you do Leah? Have you ever considered like maybe having a few regions together where people book them on a calendar, somebody actually manages them, you book them on a calendar, and then your celebrations are in that one place, and then every resident knows to keep going to those regions because something will always be sort of happening, and it could be on a calendar as well. So the people that want to do St. David's Day would book it for that time and actually do something that really represents their people. Because I used to always imagine doing a state of origin sort of a thing, celebration, where everybody represents the countries they come from with, you know, their heritage and stuff, to really share that across SL. But sort of a weirdly big undertaking.
You kind of touched on one that I am pushing for, but I don't know when it's going to get scheduled as well, which is the calendars and events. Yes, the events section. I mean, events in Second Life search or on the events pages all need a lot of help. Uh, we just need to have a universal mechanism for sorting by maturity everywhere, for one thing. And better filtering. And I don't know if I'm up for building out a full email system like Sassy's asking for, but some kind of calendaring and better notifications for events that you signed up for would be fabulous.
That could be kind of fun on the Second Life website to have the thing like, you know how you have the featured items and the arrows so you can scroll to the left or right. If you had that on secondlife.com on the top of the page, it could show something that was going on at that time.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. That's the words. Thanks. The thingamajig with the whatchamacallit. Even if they were the sort of editor's picks of the destination guide or things like that, ones that you actually want to showcase.
Yeah. Have y'all gotten yourselves a new Linden home recently? Cool. How was that shopping experience, Sassy? Since you're the only one that's gotten one, apparently.
Well, I picked one and I landed in the water and I got confused and so I re-rolled. And then I remembered the mailbox and went, oh yeah, I could have just clicked the mailbox. But the second pull was like the best location, so I'm happy that my brain stopped working for the first roll.
Sweet.
Still have a problem with the girl, the AI fake girl with the dog on the website though.
I think that we pulled that from the Flickr feed, but I could be mistaken.
It's definitely not an SL picture. That's cool.
Tell me more about America-centric Linden homes. As an American, I don't understand, but I would like to.
Rows of same houses is very American-centric.
Even Americans say that, but that's what developers here do. Yeah.
As in other countries, generally speaking, your neighbour's house looks nothing like your house.
Older neighborhoods in the US are the same way, but yeah.
Would love to. I've asked this before if they'd ever consider doing a Linden Homes theme where you get to choose from all of them. So a Victorian could be next to a ranch, could be next to a thing, and just to see how people enjoy that. It's also, yeah, it's also down to lag and stuff like that. Repeating textures, repeating prims all helps with load and lag. I mean, we do the same thing with hair fair. Most events do the same thing.
Quinn, I have made a note about the streamlining the process for P Plus users. You're talking about the being able to pick a specific plot thing that Premium Plus gets, and you have to go through support right now, right? because we have definitely talked about that since it came out, and it has not made it back to the top of the pile yet, but I appreciate the reminder. I will mention it.
I wish it was possible to texture the inside of the homes. Like the inside shell of the walls should be modifiable.
That is interesting.
You can change the textures that the Lindens have decided is the texture of the wall, but what if you want a wallpaper? What if you want bamboo sheeting on your walls? What if you actually have to res prims and put them in up against the walls to do that? What if you want a feature wall in burgundy and the rest in one of the 300 versions of white the paint suppliers say is white?
These are very interesting. Now, again, we're not the team that makes the Linden homes. We just make the Linden home shopping website. But I love hearing y'all's feedback, and I will take it to the teams.
I do talk to that team a lot also, so.
I understand you can't just make the thing modify. I'm just talking about the inner shell of the walls. If you could make that modify by the owner of the land, then, you know, that would be awesome. Do you all work at Linden Lab? Sorry to be nosy, but are you all actually in the office or are you remote workers?
I actually work for Linden Lab, but I used to work out of our Virginia office. We don't have a Virginia office anymore, but I still live in Virginia.
Yeah, I work remotely from Chicago. Although I was working out of the San Francisco office for probably 10 years before that.
So when you communicate with each other, it actually has to be a call or an IM or something. You can't just sort of poke your head over somebody's cubicle and go, yo!
I cannot poke my head over a cubicle. I would have to yell really loud to get to the next Linden.
Yeah, the web team is all remote, actually, thinking about it.
Do you ever have meetups? Like do they ever call you all into the lab, so to speak?
Yeah, we go in from time to time, either to the lab or, depending on if it's a sub-team meetup, we go to other places. Not as often as my teams would like. It used to, in the before times, I think Second Life and, Spidey was the only one actually here in the before times, but I think they got together twice a year, pretty regularly. And now it's not clockwork for sure.
I don't know that twice a year was super regular. Like some years it was twice, but there was one specific one that happened every year that they haven't done in a while. And then I've done, for the QA team, we've gotten together twice now. And I'm thinking about this year. I don't think my team would want to do more than one a year. Although, it depends on who we talk to. Some of them like hanging around with other people more than others. QA folks are a special bunch of crew.
That is awesome, though. I mean, like, knowing how that all falls is sort of important to us on the outside of that, because I think the expectation that you're all next to each other in different offices, we don't understand. Well, no, I'm just doing the royal bee thing here. We don't necessarily understand that it can't be done like that, because nobody's just reaching across and you know, sort of dotting an I and crossing a T on somebody else's desk. It's actually happening remotely. It's actually getting together and working out the best times to have a meeting and discuss things. And I like the transparency of all that that's coming across from Linden Lab lately, because it does make people actually understand why there's timelines on things a little bit better.
Some of our meetings are in Second Life too, which I think is really important, that, you know, we spend time in world talking about what we're doing, about our work.
I think they talked a little bit about the size of our engineering teams as well at that meeting, and I don't remember. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's all smaller than you would think, and even if we were sitting next to each other, there are some things that won't get done as fast as we wish they could get done. 'Cause I think, you know, like the thing we talk about is sometimes it's easy to forget that deciding what needs to get built is real work and takes some time, and then designing what that should look like is real work and takes some time, and then the developers need to build it and make it not have too many bugs with a 20-year-old system, and QA needs to help us make sure we didn't introduce too many new bugs.
I keep meaning to. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's definitely in my goals for this year to do like a series of blog posts of, you know, meet the QA team, so I can share with y'all a little bit more about what my team does and what our day-to-day is like. And, you know, we spend a lot of our time triaging bugs, but of course there's a lot of other kinds of work, and it's probably hard to picture if you haven't done QA work. And I don't know, I would like to share more of that transparency with residents about what we do and how we do it, and also the, you know, the care that we try to bring to it.
Absolutely. I know with the Zoom calls that we've had, some of us have been involved in seeing Grumpity and the way she is as a person, facial expressions, all of that has completely transformed how you look at some Lindens. So, like, you know, doing a day in the life of a QA person, even if it was just a small reel, you know, 60-second shorts thing on YouTube where you're just sort of cutting it really small, it's still very, I'm not saying share the real life person, I didn't mean that. It's just really helpful for people to understand that, you know, it has to be passed on to this person, or it needs to be, you know, dealt with this way.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my team to get around to it either, but I think Inara was here one time when we halfway canceled web user group, and or maybe Sassy, and we talked about having the day in the life of the Linden blog posts for various teams. I like the idea, but we haven't done it yet. A day with Philip would be cool. I would like to give you all your day with Philip for sure.
Day in the Friends of Philip group, everybody started doing AI renderings of Philip, and it went on for like at least over an hour, and it was so fun, and everybody was just having a great time trying to get the prompts together that would actually produce a Philip with the t-shirt. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, Sarah's got hers. Let me find mine, because it was just, I don't know, it was somehow just fun and engaging, and you know, everybody was having a ball, and it was innocent in a way that was just really cute. There was my 3 outcomes.
Wonder if we could do like an O maze with, you know, if you're the top person, we can have you do a tour of the historical Linden offices with Philip. Oh my, those are fun.
It was just really fun. Everybody was just involved and sharing their prompts and what AI they were using to do it, and it was just innocent, silly SL playfulness that was just so nice and kind and considerate of everybody, and it was just really lovely.
That hair on yours, Sarah, is so fuzzy.
She had some fantastic outcomes. She went down a whole Rocky Horror Show sort of trope for a minute there. It was really fun.
Yeah. Well, speaking of us being real humans and y'all also being real humans, it is about dinner time here on the East Coast of the US.
Oh wow, that's the time difference for you guys? See, that's so weird for me coming from a country where the only time difference is maybe an hour.
Yeah, it's 3 hours between me and my California counterparts.
Okay.
And I'm here in the middle. It's an hour away from dinner time for me.
As always, I had a lot of fun talking with y'all. 10 a.m. Thursday. Wow.
See you all later.
Thank you. Later.
Juniper, you definitely need to do a voiceover because you do the horror little girls so well.
I keep that in mind.
That was so beautifully sweet and creepy all at the same time.
That's good to know.
The sing-songiness of it all was just very, come into my house, I'm going to murder you.
Definitely changes the vibe of our huddles now. I'll keep that in mind.
Take care all. Thanks, Pantera, as always. Wonderful job. Inara, I can't wait to see what you put together. Take care all.